guys, welcome back to our Ultimate Fast API series. And today our topic is response models. So I've already learnt about the request body, now the response model. Response model is like defining the type of the object that our route or our API is returning. That is known as response model. So now we'll just take a quick example and we'll see how response model works and what all functionalities and additional methods that we get. So let's jump right into the code. So we'll just create our sample fast API app and we'll just name it fast API app. And now what I'll do is I'll just create one route and this would be our post one. We're going to deal with some user input. We're going to take a user name, password, email, full name like that, and we're gonna take it as a body. So we'll take it as post request, and what I'll do is df create user and then user and return user. Now I'll define what our user is. So this is what we know so far from Pydantic. I'll import base model. Now I'll just name one as class user in. This is what the input we are taking. Base model. Suppose we are taking username, which is string. Suppose we are taking password, which is again string. We are taking name, which is string, and then we are taking full name. Or no, email. Email will take. And email is also string. Or you can also take email str that is given by our Pydantic itself. Let's suppose we'll take that. Yeah, this is already validated. So I'll take in user in, right, and I'll return user. And so this is returning me a type of user in only, right? So we can define it like that. I'll just run it. Okay. Okay, I'll need to install Pydantic email. So for now, we'll just take it as string, no issues. Yeah. Um, okay, sorry. Yeah, we'll just take a normal string and I'll just rerun it just to get the local host. Yeah. So let's just go to our user and suppose let it be for now. So this is return me this a response body. Now this is our ideal way. Now what is the need of giving a response model type is that so that the data can be validated. Suppose I'm returning something else from here. Suppose I'm returning user, no user. Now see what will happen if I'll do this. It will throw me an error because this is not validated, right? It is missing these fields, username, password, and all. That is the need of our response model. And now the even the better way of doing this is instead of defining it here, what FastAPI suggests us, we can give in response model and I can give in user in. Yeah, this is the ideal way. Now I can just try it out. Yeah, works fine. And now I'll take one more tweak into it. Like suppose we have a password. Now I don't want the password to be shown up here, right? So what I'll do is now while taking in from the user, I'll have to take the password. But while showing the output, while returning the response, I need to hide the password. So what I can do is I can create one more class user out base model and I can just take username, that is a string. I can take name, which is a string. I can take email, which is again a string, right? And in the response model, I can just give in user out. Now you'll see the magic. And we're giving in username, password, name, and email. But you see the response, there's no password in it. And that is the main thing what this response model is doing. Now, user has all the fields. User has name, email, password, and your what is left? Username, yeah, username, right? But the main thing is the response model is user out. So user out, it will only filter out these fields and it will miss the password. So this is how our response model comes in use. Now we'll just improvise this example a bit more. If you'll notice it, we have these common fields, username, name, and email. So what we'll do, I'll just create one base user, right? Now base user will have my username, which is common, will have name, which is common, will have email, which is common again. Now user in only user in will inherit from base user. So it automatically gets these fields and I'll just add password, which is string. Now user out has all these fields. So we can directly use base user or I'll just give it just pass. You see, like that. So we don't have to rewrite the same stuff and we'll just write out again. Boom, it works fine. Right. So this is how our response model comes into use. Now there are certain case things which we get with it, like we can have response model exclude. Now exclude, I can exclude, like suppose I want to exclude username. Boom. So now you see username is excluded. Now you can also get response model include, or you can get some exclude unset if you have some default value set. So there are multiple tons of options here which you can go and check on the FastAPI official site, but mostly you won't be requiring it. The best part is, and the recommended ways to make use of the response model itself. Okay, so this was a pretty good example. Now what we'll do, we'll close it and we'll take some more example of it. And this time we're gonna take some example in which we'll have user in, user out, and we'll also have a user in DB, right? So I'll just copy some stuff from here and let's just take it, or we'll just copy it whole and I'll put it here. And okay, so this is our base user. Now user in has our password, user out doesn't have password, and now we also have one class user in DB, which is also from base user. The only difference is in DB we need to store the password, but it should be hashed password. So hashed password, and that is also string. Right, so we have our actually four models, but mainly three, right, on top of our base user. Now I'll just create one function and that will be just our hashing function. Hashing password, which is actually not some real hashing, but we'll just use it for some a random tweak for our use case, and which will just return me a random hash plus password. Right. So this is hashed for us, right? Now what we can do is, suppose I get this user from our request body. Now I'll save this user, right? So save user, I'll create this function, save, and this will save the user in DB, right? So I'll do is df save user, and this will take user in, right? So now what I'll do is, um, first of all, I'll create the hash password, because before saving to DB, I need the hash password, right? So hashed password would be hashed password would be our hashing password function, and then user dot, I'll just take the password, right? So we have got the hashed password. Now I'll create one user in DB. Now user in DB will be user in DB, and now I'll use the spread operator. So what it will do is I'll spread this user dot model dump, or we can use dict, right? And I'll also pass the hashed password equal to hashed password. Now what this will do is it will provide all the elements in the form of key value pairs. These is username, name and email. So it will be equal to like username equal to user dot username, like that. So I need not do it individually for everyone. And the best part is, like, the user will also have this password, but it will filter out what all does this need. That's it. It will skip this password, right? So I'll just print user saved to DB, right? And I'll just do, maybe I'll just return this user, right? And so I'll just get the user here. User in DB is equal to save user. Yeah, okay. And then I'll return user in DB, right? And we'll just run it out. Now you see, my response model is user out. User out only has these things, right? So accordingly, user in DB also has these three, but it also has hashed password. So ideally, it should not show the hashed password. So we'll just run it. UVCon main app reload. Yeah. Okay. And we are at user. Okay. Yeah. See, it hasn't shown me the password or the hashed password, right? And the user saved to DB. Right. So this is how it works. This is filtering out this with this model. This will be filtered out. All the fields that are required for this, only those will be shown, nothing else. So now we'll move to one more thing. We'll talk about the status code. Like, if you see the status code here, it is showing me 200, which is fine. But if we want to explicitly define some status code, that okay, this route, when it should be hit, it should give 200 for, suppose like you are creating some delete route, right? And you are just doing like delete user and user, you're taking user in, and or suppose you're only taking the username, that too as a query, right? So what I'll do is I'll just do deleted user, and instead of returning any response, what I'll do is I'll just use this status code equal to from here I'll call status, and I'll use status dot, I'll use 204. So now we have got these tons of status code we can use accordingly. Like I have this 204. 204 means that okay, this won't return any response. It will just get the work done. And so we'll just check it out. Delete user. Suppose username Rohan. Boom, works fine. 204. No response, but it has worked. You deleted user. Now suppose for this I define it as status code equal to status dot 201 created. Mostly we use it for post when we're creating. And so what I'll do, I'll just execute it 201. So this is how we can play around with our response body, with status code and response model. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you guys.